Hello and welcome to the second tutorial on Photoshop and blending techniques using different layers. Okay, so we're just going to get started straight away. Now you should have Photoshop up and running if you have been playing around with your own work. If you remember, we made a layer mask and then we used the color replacement tool to blend the two layers together. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to carry on this. So I'm going to get rid of Will Smith for now. We're going to go File, New, and we're going to open up a new project. Okay, this one is going to be slightly more advanced than the last one, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily matter about the name at this point in time. We'll just call it Martin. Okay, you might know where this is going. All right then. So I'm just going to change the preset to international paper. The size is A4. Okay, once again, the width and the height are in a certain way so that it is portrait. Okay, we're just going to turn that around. That's 297 by 210. Remember, you don't have to do this. It doesn't matter at this stage. Okay, so that just makes it a landscape image. All right. Now I'm going to bring in two files. I'm going to do this the same way I did before. We're just going to drag them in. So I have one file. Where is he? Where is he hiding? There he is. Okay, drag him in. Okay, there we go. Martin Lawrence. We are going to, at this point in time, because the free transform is happening at this point, let's just press tick. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to bring in the mango. Okay, so with the free transform, you obviously have the opportunity to place things how you want them. Okay, so in this instance, what I'm going to do is I am going to take this opportunity to rotate it. Okay, just put it like that. All right. Now you can see that there's some shading on this side because obviously that's the place in which the mango was sitting, but we are going to be getting rid of that at a later date. Okay, so just press tick once you've got that to a relatively good size. Just remember about rasterizing as well. Okay, I'm just going to press tick at this point in time. I'm going to take Martin Lawrence and I'm going to bring him above. Okay, now first of all, Martin Lawrence has a white background around him, so we don't necessarily want that white background. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that. Nice simple way to get rid of clear white backgrounds like this is with the magic wand tool. So just click on the area that I want and I can get rid of that. Now if you notice, if I perhaps take this off for a moment by pressing the marquee tool, if I have this selected here, you'll be able to use the mango in the background to kind of show. Now as you can see along here we have some fading, some gradient, because this picture is not as good quality as the Will Smith picture that we had before. There's a certain amount of pixelation that's going on. So when I go to select an area, you can see that I don't have it clear to the edge. Now when you have an area selected, you have this option here come up, refine edge. Okay, I'm just going to click that very quickly and we're going to see what we can do. Okay, now it shows me what is going to be cut away and what isn't. Okay, what I want to do is just play around with these and see what is available. Okay, so as you can see, we can tweak it somewhat to get it how we like. One more tweak with that, to be honest with you. Shift H. Okay, that looks quite good. Okay, once I'm done, it means that I can perhaps delete things. So I'm going to just delete this. Just remember, it's going to ask you to rasterize things. So we go in and we rasterize that layer, and then we can delete. Okay, so now that we've done that and we've played around with feathering and things like that, let's see what we've got. Alright, so we've got a feathered edge from the original image. We've got a slight white glow to the image, but that's okay. That's relatively quite good. Okay, so just make sure that you lock the right layers. Come back here and delete things you don't want. So I don't want that white line there. Okay, that signifies the edge. Okay, so there you go. I've got rid of some of the white. I'll do the same on the other side. Okay, that's essentially it. That's a good place for us to start. Okay, so one of the things I'm noticing at this point in time is that the mango, the leaf is actually on the wrong side from what I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get open the free transform tool on that layer. So unlock it, maybe lock this layer because we're not messing around with it. Maybe put the eye off for that one so we don't see it for now. I'm just going to press Command T. Okay. Now this is a nice simple way to sort things out. I'm just going to flip this horizontally. There you go, and it is mirrored. Okay, so once again that is Command T to get that up. Just tick it off when you're done, or press return. Okay, so now we can place the mango in the right position. Command T once again. I'm going to hold shift and I'm going to constrain the properties until we have it the way in which we want it. One of the issues with using a quick selection tool or something like that is the whole process might be a little bit too quick. Okay, so for instance, I use the magic wand tool, but I have this white area here. Okay, so what can I do to help that out? If I go Command plus, just to zoom in, I'm going to lock off this layer and I'm going to unlock Martin Lawrence again. Okay, and I am going to go back for the quick selection tool. This time it's not the magic wand, but is it the actual quick selection tool? Yeah, it creates a marquee. So to illustrate, it, like the color replacement tool, selects certain areas, okay, certain contrasts. Okay, so I will illustrate this by trying to select the contents of his mouth. Okay, so plus or minus, add or take away. I'm going to add mask or add selection. So it's picked up his tongue immediately. Click here. It's picked up now his the darkness of his gape. Okay, and you go so on and so forth. It has the option obviously to refine the edge. I'm going to select that and I'm going to go to refine edge. Okay, so you can see this selected area once again. It's the only thing that's there. At the moment I have the view as an overlay. It's my favorite to work within. Okay. Essentially all I need to do now is play around with the brush and the rubber, similar to the way in which we played around with the layer masks in the Will Smith tutorial. Okay, so just to illustrate this, if I paint a certain area, it's going to try and pick up the colours that best resemble what has already been selected. So just to remind you that there is a certain area that's selected, and then you click refine edge and then you have these other options. I can brush within this area, okay, so I can brush to add to that selection. So I can go along, say for example, the rim of his glasses, and it should, not necessarily that it will, but it should play around and try and pick up certain areas. Okay, sometimes it works better than others, right? Yeah, I might want to show you that a little bit more. For instance, if I take off the selection there and choose something else, so maybe I want to select his mustache. Okay, so I've got that certain area. Okay, so I can then go into refine edge. Whoop, cancel. What have I got two? I don't necessarily need two. I'm not playing around with his nostril. Go back here, select just that area, press refine edge, and I should be able to better define the edge essentially. So I'm going along I'm adding to the mask. Okay, let's see what happens if I do that. Trying to localize all of his mustache. This might not necessarily be that effective, but it should be somewhat effective. Okay, it's taking less. It's done less at this point in time. Okay, try the eraser. Each time we're playing around with this, it is picking up more and more of this detailed area. Unfortunately, it's not doing the same with the rest. So if I just press cancel, it's not necessarily working in our favour. So let's try selecting the majority of it at this stage. Oh, that's too much. Go to minus again. Put that back in. So I've got some little detailed areas here that I kind of want to refine. So we go back in and we play around within. So as I'm doing this, it should be, as you can see, refining the edge, picking up the edges to make that selection area clearer. Yep, that makes sense. Now, if we press OK at this point in time, it will have selected that area that we wanted. Alright, and now this can be cut out and used how we want. So that could be used in a Mr. Potato Head or something like that if you wanted to, etc. So, Command Z, because I don't actually want to move that at this stage. But yeah, at least that illustrates it further. So, I'm just going to speed up now. I'm just going to play around with selecting certain areas and adapting them. Okay. Okay, I have caught a snag here. For whatever reason, the refine edge is not allowing me to select these areas. This happens at times. So however much I try and paint it on, it comes back with this red glow. It's very unfortunate. Okay, so I'm just going to come out of this very quickly. I'm going to show you another way to do it. So down here, you have what we call edit in quick mask mode. We click that. And the same thing comes up. Okay, so it gives me the opportunity to play around further. So I can literally take the rubber and I can rub out the mask if I want and be really specific. Okay, so no longer is this a quick selection. This is literally painting the whole time. Yeah. Okay, so I can go along and paint certain areas and be very specific with what I choose. Okay, so I've tried to select this as much as possible. With the move tool, the free transform move tool, I can cut things, yeah, and sort of play around with things however I want. So yeah, let's just perhaps put this on a new layer now. Command X to cut, just like you would in Microsoft Word. Going to hide that. I'm going to bring in the eyes only. Command V. See what we can do. So something like that should be fine. We are going to adjust it further. Okay, so just return and let's see if we can't use all of the blending tools that we've learnt so far to complete Martin Lawrence's face. Okay, so just watch me as I go. Okay, another thing to try out is something called clone stamping. Okay, so that is, just let me play around very briefly. Okay, so that essentially is when you take a certain area and you replicate that area in another area. Okay, once I've finished playing around with this, I will try that very quickly. Just got to tweak this. Alright, we'll do that another time. So, clone stamping. Say for instance, now we are on a different background. We're on here now. I'm going to go over here, go out a minute. Say for instance, I have a red spot here. Okay, this is what I've made. Now I want to replicate that red spot around the page. Okay, I can do this. Now this is how they do like Photoshop editing on like people's faces to make them look more beautiful for magazines and things like that. It's very straightforward. So clone stamp, press the Alt key to bring up the crosshair. So there's the brush on its own, and then there's Alt key. Select a certain area. Okay, select here, perhaps. Make sure it's on the same layer that you've selected, and now we can select that area. So I can recreate that blemish. Now you can see the two areas there. You've got the crosshair, and then you've got the circle brush. Okay, and it's essentially it's recreating that area. It's cloning it. Yeah. I just brush it all in so it's there. I go along here. I can't necessarily do it because the crosshair's moved, so I need to recreate that position. Okay, bring that along. So okay, so it's not perfect, but it's better. Now it's just simply a matter of adding that color replacement tool to it. Okay, there you have it. That's my addition to my Bad Boys Fruit composition that I've created in all its terrible glory. I hope you do appreciate it, and I hope you have learnt something about making compositions in Adobe Photoshop. However long-winded my tutorial was. Okay, so thank you very much.